Hello and welcome back to this update on my Primaris Marines army. If you haven't seen the first video, I basically just show the Dark Imperium Primaris Marines and a couple of little additions I've made. And at the end of the video I mentioned the units I wanted to add to the army. So I've bought a couple of extra units and basically I just want to show them to you. So I've got a couple of HQs, a couple of new HQs. So starting off we've got my Librarian. I wasn't originally going to get him because I wasn't too fond of the model, but it has grown on me. I tried, I'm not the best at painting, I've tried to do like a glowy effect on his helmet. I do like how he does have a helmet option, unlike all the other Librarians. So there he is. I haven't put any Ultramarines symbols on him because I've got a Blood Angels army as well, so I was hoping to actually use him for that too. All the Librarians are blue for every chapter, well most chapters, so it doesn't actually matter that he's blue. I think I'm pretty proud of him, to be honest. I think he's turned out pretty good. Unfortunately the psychic powers for Space Marines aren't that good, so he's a bit of a letdown in terms of the rules. But I think he's turned out pretty nice, so that's him. The other HQ I have is the Chaplain. Now, I didn't actually like, it's not that I didn't like the official model for the Chaplain, the Primaris one, it's just that it wasn't really Ultramarines to me, it was more of a Dark Angels model. So in the last video I showed that I was making my own. It's made out of one of the, I think it's it's either Lieutenant or a Sergeant model from Dark Imperium. Because I had 2 boxes worth of the Primaris Marines, I actually had 4 Lieutenants, so I managed to mix and match them, and I had a spare model, so I decided to make my own Chaplain. The progress I made in the last video, I'll show it on the screen, but it wasn't much to it. So what I did, I basically ordered a Chaplain. He's listed as the Death Watch Chaplain, but he's just a normal Chaplain really, a Death Watch sprue. So this is what I've actually ended up with. It's basically just a Primaris version of that Chaplain. So he's bigger than a normal one. Again, my painting's not the best. I do try my best. But yeah, he's turned out good. He's basically a bigger version of the normal Chaplain you can get. So obviously, as you can see, he's got the Primaris legs there. What I did was I've cut the torso in half down the centre, so the back of his torso and his legs are the Primaris Marine, and then everything else is from the Chaplain. And then I've managed to just sort of cover all the gaps and all the bits with some like purity seals. I've got a little chain on his waist. I cut one of the knees flat, one of the Primaris knees flat, and I've stuck a skull on it. The backpack is the one from the actual Chaplain. Yeah, I think to me this looks more like what would be in an Ultramarines army than the official model for the Chaplain. The one for the official model, it looks more like a Dark Angels guy, and I don't really like his crow's yes as well. It's just a stick with a skull on the end. This is like a proper, you can see that doing damage to someone. A proper Aquila wing skull crow's yes. The only thing I maybe could have changed is his pistol. Aiden was saying he should have had a special one because the rules, he has an Absolver bolt pistol, which is like a beefy bolt pistol, so maybe I could have done that. But I mean, his bolt pistol looks different anyway from the normal. So that is my Chaplain. Done a skull there again, just in case I want to use him for Blood Angels. He's got no chapter specific icons on him. Next up we got my Reivers. So I bought a box of 10. There's a couple of different options in the box. So you can either give them helmets or no helmets. And they've got 2 weapon choices. So they've got knives and bolt pistols, or a bolt carbine, which is a smaller bolter. It's like a Assault 2. And the other option you get is either grapnel launchers, which are these grappling hook sort of things, or grav shoots, which are like little wings you stick on their backpack. So I bought a 10-man box. I was originally going to have 5 with the no helmet, the bolt pistol, the knife, and the grapnel launchers, and then another 5 with the full helmet, the bolt carbines, and the grav shoots. So I'd have 5 of each. But while I was making the model, I sort of decided that I do like this like configuration better, because it's nothing like any of the other Space Marines really. So I just went with this, all knives, bolt pistols, no helmet, and grapnel launchers. So I've got a 10-man squad like this. This is the sergeant here, so he's got the red on his mask. He's got the emblem there of the skull, red skull. He's got a little data pad thing. Like you may have seen in my other video, I've gone with the red trim. I've gone with the red trim of the 3rd Company from all my Primaris Marines. So they're sort of their own army in a way, but obviously they can go with any of the other Ultramarines stuff. In terms of the rules, they're nothing special, I guess. I mean, they can like infiltrate, and they've got a lot of attacks in close combat, but because there's no real like transport option. I mean, there's the repulsor tank, which I haven't got yet, but I mean, maybe their knives could have done a bit more damage, I guess. Maybe they should have been AP -1 or something. But I mean, they're decent guys. They should have been troops almost, it feels like, rather than an elite choice. But that is the Reivers. And then last but not least, we've got my Redemptor Dreadnought. I'm really proud of this, to be honest. It's the first model I've actually done edge highlighting on. I usually just dry brush all my models, so he's turned out a lot better than he was originally when I started painting him. I've done a little bit of different, done a little bit of work on the base as well, done a bit of ruins there. So yeah, he's turned out pretty good. So you can open his hatch there, see a bit of the extra details. Oop. So again, I've done a red, obviously 3rd Company, done a little bit of red on his storm bolters there. I originally had a red piece here as well, but to be honest I didn't like it too much, so I tried it with the blue instead, and I think it looks a lot better. This gun is magnetized, so you can actually have the heavy onslaught Gatling cannon, or you can have the plasma, whatever it's called, macro plasma cannon, macro plasma incinerator, the big one. This fist is magnetized, you can just take it off, I guess, when I fit them into the case. I was originally going to magnetize the storm bolters to have the other option, which is the frag storm grenade launcher. It's a SOP D6, so it's not as consistent as the storm bolters, so I decided just to stick with them instead. And I've got on the power fist, so the onslaught Gatling cannon instead of the heavy flamer. They've recently shown the easy to build version, so that actually has the frag storm grenade launchers and a heavy flamer. So if I do ever get that, it'll actually be different at least. He's got a different canopy as well, on different piece of armour there in the front. Yeah, it's definitely one of the best looking models, I think, out of the Primaris. There's his back there. He is adjustable. You can move his arms and stuff. So I mean, if you want to stick his arm out or whatever. It was a little bit more difficult than the normal Dreadnoughts to put together. It went together a lot like the Knight, actually, Imperial Knight. So I think that's where they got the inspiration for making it from. And it is cool how you can open them up and stuff like that. It's a bit like the Ghost Keel for the Tau. But yeah, pretty proud of him. He's turned out great. Only problem is if you use him in the game, he's pretty tough. If he blows up, he can do D6 wounds, mortal wounds. Unfortunately, he blew up my Librarian in the last game, so not only does the Librarian have not very good powers, he can also get blown up by his friend here. So keep him away from your other units. So that was my Primaris Marines update. Hope you enjoyed. If you haven't seen the first part, go back and have a look at that. I showed the Dark Imperium models. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to make many videos. We've had a lot of real life stuff going on, so unfortunately that gets in the way. But next year is we're going to be going all in. We're going to be making a bunch more videos. So at the end of this year, I'll be showing my entire Ultramarines army. So that's going to be something to look forward to. I've got a lot. I think I added it up and I've got about at least 500 power. So I'm going to get that all out on the table and I'm going to show that. Yeah, next year we're going to have some battle reports and stuff coming out. So we'll give you an update on that soon. But until then, thanks for watching and see you next time.